Stampers, Kim from stampingandperfection.com. Welcome to my craft room. I have been meaning to make a little box for some candies. I'm using some of these Ghirardelli candies, and I happen to find these adorable little Easter bunny candies in a package like this. So I wanted to make a little box for them so I can slide off this ribbon. I made a little flower on top using my scallop punches, and it's basically a pizza style box, so when you open it, it just opens like this and you can tuck it. I put 2 of the Ghirardelli chocolates in, but it looks like the depth I made it would actually fit more. I have a piece of this Sweet Sorbet designer series paper. I've cut it 5 inches by 7 inches, and I'm going to make a little pizza style box to hold some Ghirardelli chocolates or whatever little treat you want to put inside. When I measured the little chocolates, they're 2 inches by 3 inches, so I knew I wanted like this part of my box to be 2 inches by 3 inches, so I added an inch to each side. So that's why my paper is 5 inches wide. The chocolates were 3 inches in this direction. I wanted a 1-inch lip, so I made it 5 inches wide. Then the chocolates were 2 inches in this dimension, and I needed a front lip 1 inch, 2 inches this way, 1 inch this way, 2 inches this way, and then another lip here that's 1 inch. So I made it 7 inches. So that's how I decided how wide I needed my paper to be. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score this with my Stampin' trimmer, and very gently. I'm not going to push hard because designer series paper actually, if you score it with a heavy hand, it actually will tear, so I do want to be careful. So I'm just turning it and scoring it 1 inch from the end. I'm lining it up with the 1 inch on the right hand side of the trimmer, and I'm just scoring 1 inch all around. Okay, so that'll give me the 4 sides of my box. Now I need to score it so that I can actually have the back side of my box. So I'm going to score it. I'm going to turn it. Notice that I'm turning it the long way, so I have the 7-inch side up along the edge of the trimmer. I'm going to score it at 3 inches. Then I'm going to move it over and I'm going to score it at 4 inches. Okay, so now I'm all done with my trimmer. Now I need to take a pair of paper snips, and I'm cutting the paper snips, like I'm going to fold this just so you can see it a little better on camera. I'm going to fold along each one of the score lines just so you can see where I'm cutting. The score line might not have been heavy enough, actually. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut these 2 score lines on each side in the center up to what's going to be the edge of my box. So I'm going to do that. So this will fold up like this, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like this. Like that. And then I turned it so that I had the short side facing me, and I did the same thing with these. Like that, so they folded up, and this will form my box like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this short side. And once I have all these cuts made, I'm going to use some 2-sided sticky tape and create my little box shape. So I have this. So I'm going to fold these up like this. So I'm going to put some 2-sided sticky tape on these 4 corners. You can see that I have the 2-sided sticky tape on the 4 corners. Now I'm just going to work with one side, and I'm going to remove, with one corner, I'm going to remove the 2-sided sticky tape. The red backing, which is really staticky, so it sticks to everything. It sticks to your hands, sticks to everything. And I tend to do one side at a time because it is sticky, and once it's stuck, you're stuck with where it is. So I'm folding this up, and I'm holding this sticky part back so I can get this lined up, and then I will stick that to the inside, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now this is going to overhang a little bit because I didn't actually line it up as well as I would have liked. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim the outside of that like that so it looks nice from the outside. And I'll do the same thing on this other edge. Fold these in. Okay, so now I have this little box and I'm folding these in, and when I close this, I decided not to stick those down. I'm just going to fold them in, and when I close it up, I'll close my box just like this. So those little edges go right into the box. Okay, so when I'm all done, I have my little box here. I like the way this one came out because I was careful to get more of the flower patterns on the top. Let me show you how I made this little flower. I used 2 of my scallop punches. I chose to use the 1 3/4 inch scallop punch and the 1 1/4 inch scallop punch, and I used them on Pool Party. I contemplated also using the 7/8 inch scallop punch and using 3 layers. So what you do then is you just snip down each one of these, and it'll help you create a little flower out of each one. So I'm going to do that to all the little scallop things I punched. And I'm not going all the way to the center. I'm just kind of trying to separate them a little bit. Okay, and I took my bone folder and I just, with my bone folder, just kind of curled it up a little bit. You could use your paper piercer, just like roll it up on the sides. With that, I did the same thing with the smaller one. And you don't want to cut them in so far that you actually snip them off. I'm kind of going to cover up the center anyway. You could layer as many of these scallops as you wanted to create, you know, however full you want to make your flower. I did the same thing here. I just curled it up, almost like I am with curling ribbon. I'm being careful not to pull too hard because I don't want to rip one of those pieces I just trimmed. I used a glue dot. You could use a Stampin' Dimensional if you wanted to. I used a glue dot to put this one in the center of the other one. Then I took one of these vintage designer buttons. I love these. And I picked the one that was really scallopy on the outside. I really liked that one. So I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on the back of that. Just like that. I took one of these Summer Starfruit Boutique Details. It's one of the In Color Boutique Details. It's a little embellishment, and with a couple of glue dots, and you might actually want a Stampin' Dimensional because of the little well inside the button there. And that gave me a cute little flower. Then I used a Stampin' Dimensional on the back, and I'm going to use my dimensionals are down to the edge here. I still use the edges. They make perfect dimensionals. I just trim off what I need. I'm going to stick this on my box. I didn't get that button centered very well, but that's okay. And then I used some Pool Party seam binding, and I just tied that around, and I put a knot in it. And I made sure that when I attached the, excuse me, I made sure that when I attached the flower that I created out of the scallop petals, that I would have room to slide this under, because this, I want this to kind of look like it's coming from underneath the flower. So you can probably be easier if you tied this first and then put the flower on top. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to trim up my edges. And of course, before you put the ribbon on, you will actually make sure that you put your candy inside, which would, like that. And there you go, a couple of sweet little pizza-style boxes from the Sweet Sorbet Designer Series paper. Very quick and easy to make. So thanks for watching. Check out my blog at stampingimperfection.com.